How can you indict the left if the good guys, the good law enforcement officers, are impeached? And other attorneys generals are watching and they're taking notice. This is a massive chilling project to chill the speech and the activity of bold attorneys general. We must stand against the impeachment of Ken Paxton. We must not support the impeachment of Ken Paxton. We must rally behind the principle that Ken Paxton has done a lot of good for the people of Texas.
If you ever need to know sometimes the biases of people that are talking, just replace that with maybe a Democratic AG or even president, anyone that's in any position that then he'll say, well, you can't just do that because people like him. Well, there's always people who like politicians. Is that the reason why they can do anything they want? Charlie Kirk there trying to defend Ken Paxton without really going through some of the things that he's been accused of, or reasons why many Republicans are also against him. Now, when Republicans go against someone who's a powerful figure in a state like Texas, something really must have been wrong. But he finished there by saying he's done so many things for the people of Texas. So imagine which people of Texas he thinks he's done good things for, and whether or not he's ignored other good people of Texas, and whether or not they matter in this thing we call democracy. Here's some headlines here. Did he do well for for transgender folks in Texas? Because as this headline pointed out, they sought to seek some state data specifically on transgender Texans. Because why? Who knows? Because they're second-class citizens in his mind, and he should be enforcing different laws on them. Maybe someone who had an unwanted pregnancy, because Texas sues to block Biden's abortion medication guidance. That's something else that Ken Paxton was on board with as well. How about the energy grid and how people died? Whether it's extreme heat or it's extreme cold, as we remember when Ted Cruz ran away from his state. Ken Paxton, this headline points out from the Texas Observer, for ExxonMobil climate investigation to be stopped. Wow. He doesn't want that to happen either. Who's he doing good work for the people of Texas, or is he doing good work for certain people that we're going to talk about in a second? Lastly, though, AG Ken Paxton asked the Supreme Court to overturn Trump's defeat by negating 10 million votes in 4 states. So do you think those 10 million votes in those 4 states are people that he's doing good work for? Because they voted. And last I checked, we can do that in this country. We can vote, and then we don't have to have AGs or anyone else that's looking to hand elections over to Donald Trump to try and negate them. That's the big problem that's going on, but who cares about other Americans, Ray?
Right, I think Charlie Kirk and his asymmetrical hairline sitting there and defending Ken Paxton of all people is fascinating, because we'll get into it in a minute. I mean, he's being charged with actual crimes. Ken Paxton might go to jail. This is not, he's been a horrible attorney general for a million political reasons, but he's also a particularly corrupt individual. So the idea that he just has some people who still support him, should prevent him from, being impeached is an absurd notion. They want to, he's gung-ho about impeaching Joe Biden. There are plenty of people who support Joe Biden. By his own logic, Joe Biden should be unimpeachable. I mean, it's ridiculous, but yeah, there's so much more that we should get into. So that's all I'll say.
Yeah, the graphics aren't up here, but this is a little bit of the short story, because there's a guy named Nathan is his actual name, Nate Paul. And he's a real estate developer. He has a bunch of money, and he bribed Ken Paxton, allegedly. He's been accused of bribing Ken Paxton and basically using the AG office to defend him against any political or professional opponents, like straightforward, right in the open, again, to the degree to which many Republicans have then gone up against him as well, because why would they want that? Well, we could see why they would, but there must be other political reasons behind this as well, though.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.